So here's my vision statement. I believe it's always good to have a vision statement because it helps guide where we go. The relationship between Leslie Maisie, multi-sport endurance athlete, and Hammer Nutrition Canada, so that we can mutually share in the sales growth that comes from using my product knowledge, passion, and desire to increase sales while maintaining the trust and enjoyment already established. This presentation is based on some underlying assumptions. The first one, that you, Hammer Nutrition Canada, you're looking to increase your product sales without adding too much in the way of fixed costs, such as employing sales personnel. Another assumption is that BC is an area that you would like to grow and increase your focus in. And one of the ways that you're thinking of doing that is expanding the roles of a few athlete ambassadors, and that may help meet some of those goals. And although I'm not a salesperson, you believe that I might be able to bring my passion, enthusiasm, and relationship building skills to help with Hammer's business-to-business sales. So I'm excited about the concept of building this relationship. And so this video is intended to create discussion, recognizing that, may change direction a few times as we go forward. I think we already have most of the key ingredients invested, and those are, things like trust, desire, time, rewards, such as clothing, the product that you've given me, for training and racing, and the shipments for promotional purposes. So really, this presentation is really focused on taking an already rewarding partnership and investing a little more time and recognizing that unpaid time does involve some risk, but the goal is to increase revenues for all of us. And so I'm looking to continue my current efforts, but focused with a better set of metrics and being rewarded against those metrics. My risk is based on increasing my time investment on your behalf and hopefully sharing in the increased rewards. So here's my plan, and what I'd like to do is have my racing season paid for by the success of my activities on Hammer Nutrition's behalf. And I would hope that we can both look forward to huge rewards. And when I say huge rewards, I mean that you get the lion's share and I get just enough for a mouse. So I'm a dedicated endurance athlete, and I truly believe that some of the things that make me successful as an athlete will help develop Hammer as the preferred sports nutrition choice for athletes in BC. Rob, who's my biggest fan, tells me that I have natural sales and relationship building skills, but I've always felt uncomfortable about sales. If I just go out and talk to people about what I do and what I believe in, then, the relationships and the sales will naturally come. So if Rob's right, and, my knowledge, belief, and passion, make me a natural salesperson, then I think I'm up for the challenge. But I'm not so sure I'm going to run out and buy any polyester suits or learn how to sell any used cars anytime in the future. So this is a summary of our current situation. So where are we now and where are we going? So this last year I really enjoyed my time. I enjoyed the relationships that we developed, and I believe I was successful at increasing awareness and sales of Hammer products. I really appreciated the product and the gear, from you, and although we have no measurements, I think we did something good. But looking ahead, I'd like to continue enjoying my role as a Hammer Athlete Ambassador. I'd like to, continue and increase the amounts of time that I invest into promoting Hammer Nutrition, but measure my effectiveness a little differently and, receive some income based on some agreed upon metrics. So using my discretionary time to increase my discretionary income that can then be dedicated to my sport is definitely something that I would like to discuss. So, taking a look at what's that relationship, between sales and income. So now we're down to the, to the guts of the presentation. And so really this proposal it's not a final solution. It's just more of a place to launch from. And, looking for something that, is simple, that we can put together, that, is clear, and that we both understand. And really, the concept is about, time and money and the relationship that, and, commission paid against a promo code might be an easy way for ambassadors to increase income for themselves and it might be perfect, for many of your athletes, but it's a little close to multi-level marketing, for me. I really enjoy getting out, telling people about the advantages and the benefits of Hammer Nutrition, and I'm very happy to share a promo code, if that person is interested in using one. But I'm reluctant to attach a metric to that process, because then that directs me to short-term point of sales tactics. Asking friends, have you used my code? Have you passed it on to anybody? To try and, push it out to create, that downstream effect. And I think I have well-developed skills, for long-term customer development, and any compensation package, should reflect that. I'm just not good at, pushing product, and I really don't want to be involved in pressure sales. I don't want, people to be, running away from me because they think, all I have to talk to them about is, Hammer stuff and, did you use my code? So the commission that we're talking about really needs to be a fair number for all, and I don't know what that is. And so I need you to determine what number is best. And I believe you'll come up, with the right number in order to make us both successful. So investing in me as an athlete ambassador to go in and build those relationships really demonstrates that Hammer cares for their customers. And I think that in turn will develop loyalty to Hammer products. Offer nutrition talks to either staff or customers or a combination, without any kind of charge, really does add value to those organizations without creating any risk. Educating staff on sports nutrition it really helps them identify with the product line, and it helps to build up that direct relationship with Hammer versus just a contractual relationship. And so, so this slide is really, talking about, revenues and commissions and how a commission program works, versus, larger discounts may take a little bit of time to actually sort out. For example, if, I go to Grouse for their, peak race for 2016, and, the race director is offered a 50% discount, plus, a 10% commission for me, that probably becomes an unreasonable number, for Hammer. So those kinds of situations, really would warrant a conversation about, commission versus discounts. And, I'll let you do the math in the background and, work with me on what's appropriate, for those kinds of deals and situations. Really at the end of the day, the number, in the budget needs to be something that you're happy with, but you can also see a difference. If a retailer's already doing, a certain amount, in sales in a month, and you know that they've expanded, or there's, something new happening next door, maybe there's a new gym that was just built, and you're already expecting an increase in sales, then, my efforts, for that retailer would need to be balanced between, your expectations and the actual numbers, that we're seeing. But, really, the more money, that you make, or the more money that I make for you, the happier you should be. So this slide is set up just as an example only, and obviously, the budget numbers would be adjusted, for each account, and we can talk about where the commission should be set to. I'm sure you all have a better idea of, what commission number is, both acceptable and sustainable. So, but this method, what it does is it protects all the growth and business development prior to my involvement, and we're more than happy to have you exclude any accounts that you don't believe need to have more contact or more support. You might also want to exclude any accounts that, that another ambassador is perhaps already covering. But, this just gives you an example to take a look at, what I might be looking for. But, if our relationship goes forward and it exceeds all of our expectations, then maybe we can look at expanding the program, to include, all revenues. And, it may make sense if you have retailers who have little growth on the upside, but you still like to have their hands held in order to protect, their current buying patterns. So just to be clear, I am a health professional. I'm an occupational health nurse, and I have a business that pays me a salary. My involvement with Hammer is more on the fun side. My sport of triathlon it's not the cheapest of all sports, And so any extra income in order to help offset some of those costs, is definitely very helpful. And, taking that next step towards, becoming a semi-professional athlete where I'm not having to generate all of the income in order to cover off the costs associated with my sport is, definitely something that I'm interested in. So, and this last slide is, is my playground. This is the area where, I work, I play, and I live. I get over to Vancouver Island, 2 to 3 times a year, and I could include those, areas, into my map. But I thought I'd really focus on areas that I travel to, and can travel to, on my, mission for Hammer without actually adding in any costs. So, this gives you access, to my time without, you really having to, to compensate me because I'm perhaps already going there, for a race or to go play. But thank you very much. I really appreciate your time in reviewing my video. And, this is Leslie Mazie signing off. Happy to be a 2016 Athlete Ambassador for Hammer Nutrition Canada.